Hello, Seiiti Arata. A lot of people are getting poverty and minimalism mixed up, and this needs to stop. Minimalism is a lifestyle focused on only having the essential. Minimalism has become quite popular in the past years for being a simpler, cheaper, and more peaceful way of living. There is power in a minimalist lifestyle, but we cannot confuse minimalism with poverty. With minimalism, you live happily, just with a few things, because it is your choice. In poverty, you live with a small quantity of things, but you are unhappy because it is not your choice. If you are financially successful, you could make the choice to have less material possessions so you can lead a simpler life. Usually this minimalistic path values quality and not quantity. You could buy, for example, an extremely expensive, high-quality product and still consider yourself to be a minimalist. Now, notice that choosing a minimalist lifestyle needs to be an option. If you are financially able to buy a lot, but then you choose to buy less, well, it is a genuine choice. It is an option. However, when inflation is making you poorer and poorer every day and you don't have a choice because you don't have enough money, that is not minimalism. It is simply lack of options. Not having the money to buy whatever you want is not minimalism. Euphemisms should not be used to escape reality. True minimalism is an option. You have money, you are financially able to buy whatever you want, but you choose to live with less. Fake minimalism is a lack of options. You don't have money, you are not financially able to buy whatever you want, so then you need to either control yourself to be wishing for less things or to get into debt or ask for discounts or installment plans or buy worse quality alternatives that are cheaper. And none of these is minimalism. The choice to live with less in this case is not a real choice, it is simply lack of options. When you don't have money to buy the things that you really want to buy, saying that you are a minimalist is just a self-deception. It is an euphemism. It is a non-genuine way of trying to make do with a few things. An euphemism is when you use different words to soften something unpleasant. It is uncomfortable to admit that we're experiencing poverty or that we are not yet as financially successful as we want to be. So a fancy way to describe this situation would be to say, well, actually, I'm embracing a minimalist lifestyle. But deep down, we know it is an euphemism to escape the truth. You are the only one who knows your truth. There is no objective rule to define what is true minimalism, what is not. It is you who knows when you're truly spending less money because you are a minimalist or because you don't have money. And besides that, we need to consider the possibility of earning more money. How successful would a plan to earn more money be if you wanted to? There are people who receive several job offers that pay very well, and they refuse those offers because they're actually choosing to live a life earning less money, but they're also having less worries and stress. On the other side, there are people who do not receive any job offers to earn more, and they lie to themselves, saying that, they could earn more if they wanted to, but deep down they know it is not true. They would really like to earn more money, and they know it is not realistic, it is not possible at the moment. They know that the chances of actually having a job offer that pays better is tiny. So let's see an example of two people who basically do the same things, but they have completely opposite degrees of satisfaction. So on the one side, we have Adriana, a successful architect who loves minimalism. Adriana wakes up very early so she can be more productive. And then she takes a cold shower. Yeah, because she feels like makes her more energized and prepared. Then she skips breakfast as she's following an intermittent fast to stay in shape. She bikes to her office so she can exercise on the way to work and also to reduce carbon emissions. And at night, she enjoys reading a book because she loves literature. Adriana has investments she can pay for a long warm bath. She can pay for tasty pastries for breakfast. She could buy a new comfy car, but she chose to not spend the money on those things because she's not interested in this kind of consumption. Therefore, Adriana is leading a simple and minimalistic lifestyle by choice, by preference. On the other side, there is Bernadette. She is a baker who earns a very low wage. She's in debt. She wakes up early because she needs to be at the bakery at 6 in the morning. She takes a cold shower in a bad mood so she can save some money from the hot water. She skips breakfast. She leaves home hungry, but she needs to save up for lunch. She bikes to work because the bus ticket is very expensive. Having her own car is a distant dream, completely out of her possibilities, despite really wanting to have a car. And she spends her evenings reading a book as she does not want to spend money on going out with her friends. And also she canceled her internet subscription because it was too expensive for her. And besides not having any investments, Bernadette is in debt. She cannot afford a warm bath or a breakfast in the morning. She can't afford having her own car at all. Bernadette is leading a simple and a minimalist lifestyle, apparently, but she does it because of lack of options. She hates living like this. She really wishes for things to be different. Adriana and Bernadette practically do the same things. But one of them is satisfied with these things and the other one tries to fool herself by saying it's kind of a minimalist way of living. So a good baseline to have in mind is how satisfied you are with minimalism. If you are happy to have less and less things and you know you could have more if you wanted to, well, then probably it is true minimalism. Otherwise, if you are not satisfied with the quality or the quantity of the things that you buy, you would like to have more or better things, you might be a victim of fake minimalism. And if this is your case, it is time to get out of that trap. Be honest about your situation. Call things by their name. Minimalism is minimalism. Poverty is poverty. Truth is like sunlight that disinfects the mold of self-deception. When you're living a life with more restrictions because your money is worth less and less, that is not minimalism, that is you becoming poorer. Minimalism is when you have the chance to buy because you are financially free, but you consciously choose not to buy. Lying is a mistake. See, there is nothing wrong about being a minimalist. There is nothing wrong about being poor. The mistake is when you lie to yourself, and this lie takes away the clarity and the conscience of your choices. And you are lying when you're facing a poverty situation, you are not honest about it. And then you say that you're following minimalism. And this is a mistake because it reduces your satisfaction with life. When you tell yourself that you are a minimalist, but in reality, you know it is because of a lack of options, then you become unsatisfied. Therefore, instead of running from the problem and using an euphemism, a play on words to soften how unsatisfied you are, you should just be honest about your situation and just call things by their name. Only when you accept the truth, that you admit the situation you are in, and then you acknowledge your problem, that's when you can take action to solve the issue. When you are financially successful, you can get out of the fake minimalism. Then you can embrace true minimalism by free choice. Pay attention to the nonsense messages that are being spread by influencers, social media influencers who are talking about minimalism. Be careful with the influencers who suggest minimalism as a way of facing your financial challenges. Usually, they don't have knowledge of economics, and they will not be talking about how inflation reduces your purchasing power. And we are living through an inflation crisis right now, an inflation that devalues your money. That is the perfect crime that is being used by politicians so they can rob you. We already talked about this in detail in episode number 3 of the Seiiti Arata series. So if the solution that you use to face inflation is minimalism, consuming less, then there is a math problem here. Inflation will keep on devaluing your money more and more every month. But there is also a limit on the spending cuts that you can make. There comes a point where it is unsustainable to keep cutting expenses. And it's simply wrong to suggest minimalism as a way to survive an inflation situation. Unfortunately, in the face of very high inflation scenarios, many people, including famous influencers, say that one solution is to reduce consumerism by becoming a minimalist. But this is wrong financial advice. This is just a survival strategy that will worsen your quality of life. High inflation makes you poorer every day. Minimalism is not the solution, as inflation has a long-term cumulative effect. One day, your minimalism will become unviable because you'll no longer have any more expenses that you can cut. And this is why instead of trying to minimize your expenses at any cost, you should focus on maximizing your income. This can be done with a higher professional training, with a second job, with smart investments, and by understanding truly scarce assets like property that is unique in a good location, Bitcoin, stocks from good companies, because the scarcity of those assets will protect you against inflation. With this renewed focus, then you can increase your assets, then you can follow minimalism by free choice, and not due to lack of other options. You can be honest with yourself and becoming a true minimalist. If you are becoming poorer and poorer every day because of high inflation, do not fool yourself by saying that you are a minimalist. Minimalism in this case is not a true choice, it is the only way of surviving. To become financially successful and have financial freedom, I invite you to watch a masterclass from the Diamond Hands course right now by visiting the link arata.se/diamondhands.